Hello. For our search, what we will first do is we will click on new project, and we'll call this one stress management. And once we click on OK, we then can head up to tools and click online search. And the software has a couple of ways to search online, and we'll use PubMed. So what we'll do is I'll just expand this. What we'll do is we'll kind of actually type in stress management in quotations because we want that as our search term. And then what we will do is we will only search the abstract, and that's a PubMed feature. So it will actually kind of limit what we're actually looking for. So when we actually do that, we find actually close to 5,000 references. So we then click on OK, and the software will then import those references into the software. So it's just retrieving them, and then since 5,000 is a lot, it will take probably about 10 to 20 more seconds. And while the software is in fact actually pulling in the rough references, it will first actually show you what the titles actually look like. So then at that point, you then can kind of make sure that you didn't actually type in the wrong query. So we're just waiting. And it shows us all of these, and then you can click on them to expand. So if in fact these are the type of if these are the type of papers you're looking for, you then would actually hit import into Synthesis. And what happens now is it is actually importing them into the software, and it's actually checking to see whether that reference has already been imported. So then that means you could do a search in kind of 2019, and then do a later search in 2020, and it will then only pull in kind of the new references. So once we have that, we then kind of click on OK, and it will then can actually show that a screen saying that we have imported those, and we can actually return to the literature review software. So what we have here is we have kind of actually so we have kind of a lot of papers here. So we can click on the word cloud, and under the word cloud, it will show you kind of what are the most frequent words in either titles or in abstracts. And then as well, you can kind of increase the frequency count, or you can actually pull it down. So if we were to click on, let's say we want to click on coping. So then it's saying that there's 171 that has the word coping in the title. And up in the search, you then can see how it uses title : coping. Now, what you can do there as well is you can actually click on topic clustering, and topic clustering will then look at all of those abstracts, those 171 abstracts, and it will then try to come up with what the major themes are. And what you can do there is you then can say, do you want to tag all these rows in the topic clustering? So we could call it topic clustering, and I would add on coping, and once we click on that, it then on that point kind of shows all of the, it then shows like kind of all of the references that are tied towards it. And what we can do as well is if you kind of click on any one of these, you then can like kind of see like kind of the title, the journal, the authors, and the abstract. And what the software does as well is it highlights highlights words that you're actually like kind of looking for, and then as well it will actually break up the abstract into the various parts. Like often they have like the background and the methods section, and then the results section, and then the conclusion section. So then in this one, they didn't include any subject headings. What you can do as well then is, in fact, you can right click on like kind of a column, and you can go view chart enhanced. And what will happen there is it then will actually basically like kind of just show you it will show you a chart from the data shown in that column. And then as you can see here, it then kind of just shows like how many papers are actually published every year. And you then can toggle this to like kind of have it show like in other types of ways. And then the main power with the software is its search. So if you're actually wanting to find like a certain word, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing the word yoga. So if you click on that, you then can kind of see, oh, it's appeared in like kind of 118, and you then can go, then you can even restrict it more by going title. So for this, it's saying that there's 68, or if you type in abstract, you then can see how there's like kind of 109 references of that word in the abstract. And what you can do is you then can tag these rows, and it will actually create a new column around kind of what you want. So for this, we could just call it new column, call it yoga, and then it will just put a yes there. So if we go and we click on that, it's then added a new column. If you were to type in another word like exercise, there it's appearing in like kind of 687. So then at that point, you then could like as well kind of tag that as well and call it exercise and value match okay. And you can kind of keep on basically doing this. What may be more effective if in fact to like kind of create just one column where you're putting all kind of activities. So there you're throwing in basically like there I tried like kind of like kind of bike. I could go walking. So here there's like kind of 28. So how we would do that is we then would actually create a new column, and let's call this type exercise. And under the value to match, we would go walking. And then if we then just do the same thing and go running, we find 14, and we can tag that. But what we can do is this time we can kind of choose existing column, and we can go append to the existing value. So what will happen is if we have like somebody who did walking and running, it would be walking comma running. So for this, we're putting running in here, and we're going to click yes. And as we kind of scroll across, we then can as well kind of right click, and we can actually do the same chart type of thing. And we can kind of say, well, like how many papers had it, or in fact what percentage had it. So that's why you would add up things as well. One of the other powers of it is what you can do is you can kind of head through these, and then you kind of include or exclude the papers that you want. So let's say we wanted to include like kind of 5 of these basic papers, and what's happening is it's actually kind of classifying the papers into whether we included them, whether they're unknown, or whether they're excluded. So so then that way you then have a quick way to say, oh, show me all papers of only the things that were included. And one of the ways that the software can actually download the full text is you can kind of just click on basically download for kind of a one-off paper, and it will take about 20 seconds to try to retrieve the paper. Now, that as well basically depends on whether it is an open access paper, which means that it's actually public, or in fact whether you have to actually be inside a college or a university. Now, what you could do is you could just basically click on download all papers, and what that will do is that will download all the papers that you've tried to include. So as you can see, you can kind of click on these papers as they have actually been imported. So that's kind of a brief overview of the software, and it kind of shows you how like kind of one has to actually work with the software to actually get an understanding of the knowledge that you're actually looking for. Now, since we're only searching basically the medical literature here, there's like kind of some type of queries that like kind of they may not like kind of have a lot of literature about. So if we go back up into tools and go online search, and one of the words you had was resilience. So if we then kind of just type that in, that one may actually be too like kind of limited. So here we're only coming up with 14 references. So let's just basically see what type. So it's kind of resilience among caregivers of injured service members, experience of public doctors. So you can still import all of these, but it's one of those things where you really want to play with the search and try like a few of these combinations. So here we're typing in crisis leadership. Now, crisis leadership probably wouldn't actually be it probably wouldn't actually be like a lot of papers in the medical literature. So at that point, you would have to go into other types like psychology or social sciences, and that would actually require kind of access to a university where you can access those like kind of various databases. And if you are able to access those, you can perform the search through those online databases and then click on import citations, and the software will then import what's called a RIS file. So it's a reference information systems format. And other than that, there's a lot of other features in the software. And if you click on tools, you can even see like kind of things like author statistics, or you could see other types of options. So it's where you just have to learn about the overall software. Thank you.